What's up, guys? Going to do a video tonight of a ride I'm going to take just around my area here. Where I live, it's kind of a bit hilly, some uphill, a little bit downhill. Not terribly big hills, but long, gradual hills. I kind of live in the middle of a hill. Basically, I live in Mesa, Arizona, so the valley, Phoenix, is down below elevation-wise, and then starts going up, and when you get to Mesa obviously in Spanish means table. So I'm kind of on the upper side going up towards the mountains out to the east and north, and so I kind of live basically halfway up a hill. So I'm going to do some riding around here and show you what I can achieve on my scooter with the speed and the torque mod that I have on my scooter. Couple things I want to go over first, and that's my battery. I have a meter, so I don't go by the battery reading on my scooter controller. As you can see right now, kind of hard to see in the light, but there we go. I'm at 100%, 54.6 volts. Now on my meter, I have my low end set. My 0% would be 40 volts. My upper 100% I have set for 54.4. So I know when I get to 0%, I still have about 1 volt left, 39 volts, and I believe the scooter cuts off there. So I know my 0%, I still have about a volt to play with. Anyway, so that's the range. 0% on my meter here is going to be 40 volts. 100% is 54.4. And I set for 54.4 because your normal nominal charger will charge at 54.4 volts. I have one charger that's a little bit better than nominal. It goes to 54.6, 54.7. So I use that one on my scooter. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing, I have 55 psi in my front and rear tires. 55 psi. On other videos I've said air up to at least 50 psi, which is good advice. Anything under that, you're going to suffer on your high-end speed and your distance that you can achieve as well. So I'm actually at 55 psi now. I like that. I get a couple more miles per hour out of it. I actually tried it at 59 psi, and that was fine too. I got actually another mile per hour out of it, but a little bit harder ride with the tires that full, so I backed down off to 55 psi. But just so you know, me at 180 pounds, I was able to go up to 59 psi. You're not going to blow the tires out or anything, but I would recommend, if you want to be able to hit your top speed and get up to speed a little faster and have more distance, I would recommend 55 psi in your tires. Even if you weigh 200 pounds, that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so that's the second thing. Next, I want to go over the settings on my controller here real quick. Go turn this on and go into the P settings. I didn't push the buttons. There we go. Try that again. Okay, I'm not going to go over these. I did another video on what all these settings are. I'm going to go back to 1 on that. That's my display brightness. Okay, so the ones I want to show you is this one here, P06 set for 11.0. That's your wheel size. The wheels are actually 10-inch wheels, but the instruction it came with set 11. The instructions say leave it set for 11, so I left it for set for 11. So, and what I'm showing you is these first two settings are going to make your scooter accurate. Sorry, I went all the way around here. Accurate for your miles per hour and for your odometer. So P06 set for 11.0, and the next one, P07 set for 00035. With those two settings, P06 set for 11, P07 set for 35, your odometer and your speedometer will be accurate compared to GPS. And when I take this ride tonight, I'm going to have my GPS here, and so we'll be watching that during the ride. I'll be looking down at it as much as I can. I don't think you'll be able to see this when I'm riding so well because it's smaller. However, this is accurate compared to my GPS because those two settings of P06 and P07. Okay, one more setting I want to show you in here, and that's P15. Set P15 to 100 if you want to be able to hit your top speed. Anything less than 100, I kind of think it's like a percentage-wise. 100 means 100% top speed. Anything less than that, you're not going to get your top speed. So set set your P15 to 100. Okay, so that's the only settings I want to show you now. I did another video on all the settings, but that's what I want to show you for now. So I got my P15 set for 100%. That's going to be giving my top end. I got my tires aired up to 55 PSI, both front and back, and I got a fresh battery charge. So those are the constraints I'm using for this ride tonight. I'm probably going to go about 5 or 6 miles just around the area I live, just show you what some typical riding is in an area that has some hills for my speed. Again, I have the torque mod on the scooter, so I'm going to be able to get up to speed faster than a stock Q1, but the torque mod does not affect your top end speed. It only affects how quick you get up to that speed and gives you power climbing the hills, but it will not make the scooter go faster. So as far as the top speed goes, whether I have the torque mod or not, it's going to have the same top end. True, a stock Q1 is going to take longer to get that top end, but once it gets to the top end, this scooter with the torque mod won't go any faster than a standard Q1. Again, I'm 108 pounds with all my gear on, and so we'll see what we can do. Okay, next thing. Now that I mentioned about the torque mod, I want to tell you something that happened again. I was riding yesterday, and I again, for the second time, blew a couple of MOSFETs in my controller. So wasn't too happy about that. It's due to the torque mod. I'm still trying to work that out perfectly. Basically, when I was first doing the torque mod, I put a 40 amp fuse, bumped up to a 40 amp fuse, and I was blowing that fuse occasionally while riding with the torque mod. So then I bumped up to a 50 amp fuse because I couldn't really find a 45 amp. So I bumped it up to a 50 amp fuse, never blew that fuse again. However, now I've 2 times blown some MOSFETs in a controller, 2 different controllers. I was able to fix them because I bought some MOSFETs off a website in China, and I was able to fix that controller, both of them. I fixed the one I blew the 2 MOSFETs in last night. I fixed it today. It took me about an hour. It's not a big deal. I did a different video on replacing those MOSFETs, so you can see how to repair that if you need to. That's cheaper than buying a new controller. And so yeah, what I've done now is I've ordered a 45 amp resettable fusible link. So basically 40 amp fuse was not big enough. 50 amp fuse seems to be too big because that's not blown. Instead I'm blowing MOSFETs. So I'm hoping 45 amp is the sweet spot, and also it's resettable, so I won't have to. I'm just going to drill a hole through the side so I have a button I can reset it should it blow. I'm hoping that's going to take care of it. The other thing, I could look for a new controller. These are 25 amp controllers, but I upped the current to it, so I could look for a 35 amp controller or something like that. But I'm trying to make this work with the existing controller without having to buy a new controller. And I'm pretty close. I mean, before I've ridden this thing 300 or 400 miles with that torque mod before I had a problem. And here's the other thing. When I've blown, both times I've blown MOSFETs, it's when I was standing still and then got on it and throttled hard. That's the time when you go pull the most current, is when you're standing still. Once you're moving and have momentum and you hit the throttle, it's not pulling as much current as when you're dead standing still at a stop and then you hit the throttle hard. So that was a condition. I blew both times I blew MOSFETs. So I just gotta take it easy when I'm first taking off from a dead stop, and I think I'll be all right. Beyond that, once I get that 45 amp circuit breaker, I'm hoping that's going to take care of it. And then even then, hopefully the circuit breaker will blow before the MOSFETs do, and then I could just push a button and reset it. So I'm hoping that's going to be my ultimate solution. Okay, anyway, it's going to take about another hour or so. It's pretty hot today. It hit like 103. Even right now, it's still 96 here in my backyard. Sunset's about an hour away. I'm going to wait for that sun to drop down before I take off. And then just go do about, like I said, 5 or 6 mile ride around this area. Just showing you what I can do with the top speed, going up some hills, going down some hills, and just kind of average riding in a semi-hilly area. All right, so I'll be back in about an hour or so, and we'll take off. All right, guys, getting ready to take off here shortly. There's one more thing I want to mention before we go. Figured I'd throw this on here. Do yourself a favor, pick up some of this stuff off Amazon. It's called Flat Out. It's the Sportsman formula, and I got this off Amazon, but this stuff is really good. It's made for SUVs, like off-road vehicles, dirt bikes, I guess golf carts, ATVs. Really good stuff. You won't have to worry about getting flat tire if you're running this stuff in your tires. I put a quarter of the bottle in each tire, and then basically there's enough for you know, of course there'd be enough for 4 tires in it, but a quarter of the bottle in each tire I put in there, and this is really good stuff. I would not use the green stuff. Get this stuff. It's off Amazon. You can probably find it other places, and it's called Flat Out. I literally 3 weeks ago I had a staple, heavy duty, you know, staple in my rear tire I picked up somewhere. I pulled that staple out, and some air leaked out for literally, I could count to 3, and it was done leaking. It sealed it that quick, didn't even let all the air out of the tire. So yeah, it's good stuff. After that, I waited about just a few minutes, and I aired it back up, and it's held air ever since. Not leaked any air. So this stuff will, if you get some in your tire, this stuff will seal it. Even if you pull it out like I did with that staple, it'll seal it. And it's really good stuff. You probably will not get a flat tire if you're running this stuff at all. Highly recommend it. Flat Out. I got it on Amazon. A little bit more expensive than the green stuff, but it's so much worth it. If you go on Amazon, take a look at some of the reviews on there. You know, people have some amazing results running this stuff. All right, we're going to hit the trail here, or hit the road here in about 10 more minutes. All right, guys, getting ready to take off here. Putting all my lights on. It's going to start getting a little dark. The sun's dropped down. Got a little cloud cover off to the west, so that's going to help too. And just going to hit the road here. Make sure all my lights are on. It's not flashing. Okay. Okay, we're good. Just before we go, I want to show you a couple things. There's my meter again. I'm at 100%. Battery, 54.5 volts. And I'm going to ride in 3rd gear. I'm going to pretty much be on the throttle most of the way. And there's my GPS, which I'll be looking down at. There's our speed right there, the big one. Max speed underneath it. GPS is accurate right now to within 13 feet. We're starting out at about 1,650 feet elevation. And this is my phone battery percent, not the scooter. So, and then there's our mileage there. So again, this is the number we're going to be looking at for our max speed. Whoops, let me go back on that. And so let's get started. All right, so first of all, I'm just got to get down the road here, this way to our gate. So I'm just got to kind of take it easy down there till I get out past the gate. And then we'll go from there. All right, here we go. Okay, one thing too, when I'm riding and I'm trying to hit my max speed like I'm going to today, I actually squat down. If you're just standing straight up, your body kind of, there's more resistance. And actually by squatting down, you can gain an extra mile per hour or so. So usually when I'm trying to go as fast as I can, I actually squat down. Here's full standing, and then kind of squatting down like this. So I'll be doing that throughout this ride. Okay, here's our main road, first main road. We're going to start it here coming out of my area. It's uphill going that way, which is the way we're going to go. That way goes back downhill. It's a gradual hill, long gradual hill. We're going to go to the right up here, so this is going to be going uphill, and we'll see what we can hit going up to the next stop sign. Okay, here we go. Alright, so with my torque mod, I accelerate up that hill pretty quickly. Again, the torque mod will not affect my top speed. That's where we came. You can see where it dips down. Back there where the road kind of goes out of sight. So we started down from there. So we came up a gradual hill. I was able to easily hit 28, maybe topped out at 29 briefly. Coming uphill, 28 miles per hour. Pretty good. Okay, now we're going to continue on this way here. This road is pretty level for a while, and then it will slightly go downhill. Not any major downhillage, but it'll be a slight decline. And it's a bit longer stretch than what we just did, so we should be able to get up to speed here. Okay, so we're easily able to hit 33, 32 cruising speed. Actually hit 35 max. And yeah, like I said, it was slightly downhill. If we look back that way where we came, you can see it's pretty level for that last stretch. Somewhere in there, probably when I hit 35, was going downhill slightly. Not a whole lot though. I mean, it's not a big hill. Really, it's hardly any hill at all. So a little bit of decline. I could hit 35 miles per hour, easily 34. Easily could cruise at 33, 32. So that's pretty good. Again, we're going to continue on this way. Again, it's slightly downhill, not much at all. I mean, you can see it's not like going down a big hill or anything. It is slightly downhill though. So I imagine, again, I'll probably be able to hit 32, 33, 34 miles per hour. Somewhere in that range. Okay, you can see there, again, we hit 34 miles per hour. Could easily cruise at 34 miles per hour on that road. Again, maybe a slight downhill there, but not really much at all. Okay, again here, we're going to keep going this way, and it's going to, again, slightly downhill. It's going to go slightly downhill till we stop at our next point. Alright, as you can see there, again we hit, yeah, I don't know, 32 at least, cruising down through there. I didn't get all the way up to speed. Initially, that car that was in front of me, they only wanted to go about 30 miles per hour, which is fine. I don't like, trying to pass cars on the right or anything. I don't want to take any unnecessary chances. So I just kind of hung out behind him, going around 30 at that point, until he turned off. Then eventually there was a part where it did go slightly uphill again, but I still managed to cruise easily at 31, 32 miles per hour down that stretch. Okay, now our elevation is basically 1,600 feet, so we're going to go up from here. We're going to do quite kind of like a long, gradual hill climb, and I don't know how high it's going to go, but this up until this next stop, we're going to be going uphill all the way on a long, gradual climb, maybe a mile. Probably about a mile, I'm guessing, uphill from this point. Somewhere along the way, I think there's going to be a speed trailer on the side of the road, so I'll try to get a look at that as I go by. I think I'll probably be around 28 miles per hour when I hit that controller, that speed wagon going uphill. 28 uphill, I think, is about where I'll be on this one once we get to that point. All right, here we go. Alright, so there's a long climb there. We're now at 1,738 feet, so we went up about 138 feet in about a mile there. You can see at the beginning where it wasn't quite as uphill, but it was still uphill. I was able to hit 31, 32 or so. And then once it started getting a little steeper, I was still able to go about 28, 29 miles per hour as we passed that speed trailer, which confirms it. Speed trailer agrees with my GPS, which agrees with my scooter speedometer. I don't know if you can see, I don't think we can see the scooter speedometer while I'm riding because it's kind of hard. I guess I'm lucky enough just to look away from the road at the GPS without having any trouble. So that's the road we came up from. You can see it's a gradual downhill or uphill the way we're coming. Then around that corner it drops off, so it's a bit steeper of a hill. And like I said, over a mile, mile and a half, it is gradually going up from 1,600 feet to, well, it says 1,745 right now. Now it's averaged out, so about 145 feet we just came up in a mile's distance, 145 feet climb, gradual climb, and could still peg out at 29 miles per hour, and during the steepest parts, 28, 29, during the steepest parts of the hill. Okay, we're just gonna, I think we're gonna head back home. I'm trying to keep this video a little bit shorter. Off to the right there, that's Phoenix down below in the valley. So you can get an idea of our orientation here where we live, kind of up, kind of getting, heading towards the mountain. So we're higher up in elevation than Phoenix. There's Phoenix. I don't know exactly what the elevation difference is, but you can see it's a pretty good difference between the valley down there and then where we live. And then if you go further to the east, it gets out into Tonto National Forest and starts going up in the mountains and the desert. And really nice area. We love it out here. I'll do some more rides later. If we go back up that road right back through there where those lights are, it starts going uphill quite a bit more, and then there's a bigger hill out and back there that we'll do that. I'll do that sometime, showing you climbing up a, more of a steeper hill than what I did today. Anyway, for now, just going to head back home now and cut this one short. And just lastly, we're at the gate here. I'm going to throttle it back to our driveway, which is a very short distance, but I think I can hit maybe 27, 28 before I get back to my driveway here. And that's because of the torque mod acceleration again. Alright, so there you have it. I was able to hit 28 before getting back to the driveway here in a very short distance. Again, the torque mod, I love that for the acceleration and hill climbing ability. Can't beat it. Do still have to work out that issue with the right fuse, or the resettable fuse that I'm going to be getting with 45 amp. Talked about that a little bit earlier. And so let's just take a quick look here We ended up going 4.9 miles, about 5 miles. Max was 35 miles per hour. Yeah, so did quite well. Oh, one other thing I want to show you. Here's my battery meter now says I'm at 83%. Again, 40% is my low end, which gives me about a volt spare to as extra. 51.9 volts. If you notice the meter on the scooter, it still says I have full battery. So that's why it's a good idea to check your charger. I did a video about how to measure your charger voltage to make sure you're getting full charge. If your charger is only charging you to 50 volts, maybe you're only at 80% battery, yet this is going to show that's fully charged. So you may not even know that you're not even at full charge. I suggest you measure the voltage coming out of your charger. That's going to tell you how much it's going to charge your battery up to. I've got one charger that charges at 54.7. I've got another one that charges at 54.4. Both those are good. 54.7 is a little better. But if your charger only is charging to 50 volts, that's not so good. You're not getting full charge. You're 4 volts down already, and you're not going to be able to tell by looking at this because it still says full charge right now. Likewise, on the bottom end of the scale, this is not accurate either. I've ridden the scooter where all these bars are gone. There's no bars, and then there's one more step below it where it shows no bars and it starts flashing. And I've still been riding 25 miles per hour during that time. And by checking my meter over here, I can still see that I have battery. So this isn't accurate at the high end, and it's not accurate at the low end. If you were riding and you only had one bar left, don't worry about running out of battery. You still got battery left. Like I said, I've ridden this with no bars, and the battery indicator starts flashing, and I still had like 15% of my battery left. So it's not going to leave you stranded. I would think about getting back home if this goes to no bars and starts flashing, but you're not going to be stranded. Even when I ran this thing past that, I lost third gear. I couldn't throttle in third gear. Then I dropped down second. I could go a little further. Went throttle in second after a while. I was still able to get down to first gear and then limped back home at like 8 to 10 miles per hour in first gear. Made it home. It didn't knock it off in first gear. So anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this ride, and you can see exactly what the scooter can do. On a slightly downhill I can hit 35. On level ground I can easily hit 32, 33. Again, I've got 55 psi in my tires. I've got my setting, my P15 setting on the scooter set for 100%, and when I'm trying to hit that top speed, I'm actually squatting down and trying to create as least amount of wind resistance as possible. So those are three things to be able to achieve your max speed. And yeah, pretty happy with these scooters. More so happy that I added the torque mod. That's a wonderful thing. I can accelerate really quick, as you just saw, come back to the driveway here, hit 28 in a very, very short distance. And also that helps tremendously going up hills, and more so trying to keep up with my son, who's 100 pounds lighter than me. His Q1 is stock. He doesn't need the torque mod, but with the torque mod I can keep up with him, climbing hills and just riding in general, where before the torque mod he would just pull away from me and get way out in front of me, and I'd have to tell him to slow down. Alright guys, that's it for this one, and we'll be looking forward to do some other videos in the near future, some more rides, give you some more riding videos, going up a bigger hill and such. And alright, hope you have a good night, guys. Take care, ride safe, peace.